The year was 1945. The world was locked in a devastating war, with the Pacific conflict nearing its end. In secret, scientists had split the atom, creating a weapon of unimaginable power, the atomic bomb. On August 6th, the Enola Gay dropped Little Boy over Hiroshima, erasing the city in a blinding flash. 3 days later, Fat Man fell on Nagasaki. The bombings ended World War II, but at a horrific cost, tens of thousands dead instantly, many more suffering from radiation. These events marked the beginning of the nuclear age, a time when humanity's destructive power outpaced its wisdom. Hiroshima and Nagasaki remain stark reminders of the catastrophic potential of nuclear weapons. They are cautionary tales, moments frozen in time, shaping our world to this day. Amidst the vast tapestry of history, where countless lives intersect and stories unfold, lived a man named Tsutomu Yamaguchi. His life, like so many others, was a testament to the resilience and spirit of humanity. He was a young marine engineer from Nagasaki, a vibrant port city nestled on the coast of Japan. He was in many ways an ordinary man, diligent and dedicated to his work at Mitsubishi, a company that played a crucial role in the city's bustling shipbuilding industry. He poured his heart and soul into his work, contributing to the construction of massive vessels that sailed the seas. More than anything, he was devoted to his family, the cornerstone of his existence. He was a man of peace, hoping for a future where his loved ones could thrive in a world free from conflict and strife. He yearned for a world where his son could grow up without the shadow of war looming over him. It was the summer of 1945, a season of both beauty and immense global turmoil. At this time, Yamaguchi was away from his home on a business trip in Hiroshima, a city that, like Nagasaki, was a vital hub of industry and military activity. This separation meant he was temporarily separated from his wife and infant son, a sacrifice he made for the sake of his work and the well-being of his family. His days were typically filled with the intricate details of ship designs, poring over blueprints and calculations. But even amidst the demands of his profession, his thoughts were always with his family back in Nagasaki, his heart longing for their reunion. Finally, on August 6th, his assignment in Hiroshima was coming to an end. He prepared to return home, filled with anticipation and eager for a joyful reunion with his wife and child. That morning, like any other, he walked to the shipyard to complete a final task before his departure. The day began under a seemingly peaceful, clear blue sky. He was just another person, going about his daily routine. Little did he know he was about to become an unwitting participant in a moment that would forever alter the course of history. In just a few moments, his life, and indeed the world, would be irrevocably changed forever. Tsutomu Yamaguchi was simply an ordinary man, living an ordinary life, on what seemed like an ordinary day. He was about to witness something so unimaginable, so devastating, that it would defy comprehension. Fate, in its cruel and mysterious way, had placed him at the very epicenter of a new and terrifying era. Hiroshima's morning was peaceful as Yamaguchi walked to work, his mind on home. He turned back to retrieve his personal seal, a small decision that saved his life. Overhead he saw the Enola Gay and a falling object. A blinding flash, brighter than the sun, erupted, followed by a deafening roar. The shockwave hurled him into a potato field, rupturing his eardrums and burning his skin. The city vanished into fire and ruin, replaced by a monstrous mushroom cloud. Disoriented and injured, Yamaguchi stumbled through devastation, surrounded by unimaginable suffering. Hiroshima was transformed into a hellscape in seconds. He was one of the few left standing, a survivor in a city of the dead. The world he knew was gone. In that instant, the nuclear age had arrived. Amid the ruins, Yamaguchi found 2 colleagues, also alive. They spent a night in an air raid shelter, haunted by the cries of the wounded. At dawn, rumors of a working train spurred them to escape. Their journey through Hiroshima's wreckage was a nightmare. Bodies, flames, and despair everywhere. Despite severe burns, Yamaguchi pressed on, driven by hope of seeing his family. They reached the train station, joining other survivors fleeing the city. The train crawled away from destruction, carrying the wounded toward uncertain futures. Yamaguchi, wrapped in bandages, was heading home to Nagasaki. Unaware of what awaited, he was leaving one hell only to find another. Fate was not finished with him yet. After the horrors of Hiroshima, Tsutomu Yamaguchi desperately sought to return to his family. He boarded a train, the carriages filled with the wounded and displaced, each face etched with the trauma of what they had witnessed. He finally arrived in Nagasaki on August 8th, battered and burned, his body a roadmap of the devastation he had narrowly escaped. The journey itself was a testament to his will to live, a desperate race against the odds. His family was relieved to see him alive, their joy a stark contrast to the despair that gripped the nation. They had feared the worst, knowing the scale of destruction in Hiroshima. But their relief was quickly tempered, though horrified by his injuries. The bandages, the burns, the haunted look in his eyes, it was a grim reminder of the nightmare unfolding. The next day, despite his condition and against the advice of his family, he reported to work. Duty called, even in the face of unimaginable suffering. He felt a responsibility to share what he knew. He felt compelled to warn his colleagues about Hiroshima's destruction, to paint a picture of the unimaginable power that had been unleashed. He hoped to prepare them, though he knew no one could truly grasp the reality. His story was met with disbelief. They struggled to reconcile his words with their understanding of the world. How could a single bomb obliterate an entire city? No one could imagine a single bomb destroying a city. The concept was simply too foreign, too terrifying to accept. They dismissed it as the ramblings of a traumatized man. At 11:02 a.m., as he described the Hiroshima blast, recounting the blinding light and the earth-shattering force, fate intervened in the most horrific way imaginable. A familiar white flash, an unbearable, searing light filled the sky once more. The air crackled with an ominous energy. Instinctively, without a moment's hesitation, Yamaguchi dropped to the floor, his body remembering the terror it had already endured. It was the same reflex, the same desperate act of self-preservation that had saved him in Hiroshima. A grim, almost unbelievable repeat. The second atomic bomb exploded over Nagasaki, unleashing its fury upon a city already reeling from the war. The force of the blast shattered the office windows, ripped apart the building's structure, and tore away his bandages, exposing his raw wounds to the renewed horror. Miraculously, against all odds, he survived again. He emerged from the rubble, battered and bruised, but alive. He rushed home through the chaotic streets, his heart pounding with fear, desperate to know if his family had been spared once more. His house was damaged, the walls cracked, the roof partially collapsed, a testament to the bomb's destructive power. But his wife and child had survived, shielded by chance, hidden from the worst of the blast. A wave of relief washed over him, mixed with the lingering trauma. Tsutomu Yamaguchi had now lived through 2 nuclear attacks, a distinction no one else in the world could claim. It was a fate almost beyond belief, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, and a chilling reminder of the destructive power of war. Twice he had witnessed the end of the world, and twice, against all odds, he had lived to tell the tale. His story stands as a powerful symbol of survival and a stark warning about the consequences of nuclear war. Surviving one atomic bomb is a miracle, a stroke of impossible luck against unimaginable odds. The sheer destructive force unleashed on Hiroshima and Nagasaki left landscapes and lives irrevocably scarred. To emerge from such devastation alive was a testament to chance and resilience. Surviving too is almost unimaginable, a statistical anomaly that defies comprehension. To be at the epicenter of not 1 but 2 nuclear blasts is a fate almost too cruel to contemplate. Tsutomu Yamaguchi found himself in this very position, a man marked by unimaginable tragedy. Yamaguchi's health deteriorated rapidly in the aftermath of the bombings. Radiation sickness, with its insidious reach, brought fever, debilitating pain, and a constant threat to his life. The invisible enemy ravaged his body, leaving him weakened and vulnerable. The long-term effects of radiation exposure were poorly understood at the time, adding to the uncertainty and fear. Yet, against all odds, and fueled by an indomitable will, he slowly recovered, nurtured and supported by the unwavering love of his family. Their presence was a beacon of hope in the darkness, a constant reminder of what he was fighting for. He rebuilt his life piece by piece in a shattered nation struggling to rise from the ashes of war, a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit. He dedicated himself to raising his children, finding solace and purpose in the simple joys of family life and working quietly to contribute to the rebuilding effort. For many years he chose to keep his extraordinary story private, shielding himself from the potential judgment and scrutiny of the outside world. He was wary of the stigma and discrimination often faced by hibakusha, atomic bomb survivors who often endured prejudice and misunderstanding due to the lingering fears surrounding radiation exposure. Only later in life did he find the courage to speak out, to share his incredible and harrowing experiences with the world. He came to the profound realization that his survival carried a profound responsibility, a duty to bear witness to the horrors of nuclear war. In 2009, after years of campaigning, he was officially recognized by the Japanese government as the only person to have survived both atomic bombings, a distinction he bore with a heavy heart. His life then transformed into a dedicated mission, to tirelessly work to ensure that no one else would ever have to endure the unimaginable suffering and devastation that he had witnessed firsthand. Yamaguchi's remarkable resilience served as a powerful testament to the enduring strength and indomitable spirit of humanity in the face of unimaginable adversity. He bore witness not for personal fame or recognition, but for the sake of future generations, hoping to prevent similar tragedies from ever occurring again. His story stands as a stark and unforgettable warning, and a fervent call for lasting peace, urging the world to abandon the path of nuclear destruction and embrace a future of understanding and cooperation. The true impact of nuclear weapons is not just in destroyed cities, but in the lives of survivors. Hibakusha bore physical scars, burns, illness and pain, but also deep psychological wounds. Every ache brought fear. Is this because of the bomb? Radiation was an invisible enemy haunting survivors for decades. Social stigma added to their suffering. Many faced discrimination and isolation. Yamaguchi and his wife both battled cancer later in life. Their story reveals the enduring cruelty of nuclear weapons. These bombs do not distinguish between soldier and civilian. The suffering they unleash transcends generations. In nuclear war, there are no winners, only loss. The hibakusha's stories became a global call for peace and nuclear disarmament. Survivors like Yamaguchi spoke out not for revenge, but to prevent future horrors. Their testimonies gave a human face to the consequences of nuclear war. Organizations like Nihon Hidanko advocated for survivors and disarmament. In 2006, Yamaguchi addressed the United Nations declaring, "I hate the atomic bomb because of what it does to human dignity." His message was simple: never forget the human cost. The hibakusha's advocacy inspired treaties and kept the humanitarian consequences of nuclear weapons in focus. Their legacy is a powerful, enduring plea for peace. From the ashes of destruction, they built hope. Their voices changed the world. To build a better future, we must understand our past. Hiroshima, Nagasaki and Yamaguchi's story are not just history. They are warnings. In a world still armed with nuclear weapons, these lessons are urgent. Yamaguchi's life shows the resilience of the human spirit and the power of hope. He transformed suffering into a message for peace. The only way to win a nuclear war is to prevent one. The existence of these weapons remains a danger to all life. The hibakusha implore us to work for disarmament and peace. Yamaguchi bore witness for all humanity, a sacred trust. His legacy is a call to action: never again.